Ansible modules are designed to be independent. This means that in a properly written playbook, each task can be run multiple times without changing the managed host unless they need to make a change to get the managed host to the desired state. However, sometimes when a task does make a change to the system, a further task may be needed to be run. For example, a change to a service configuration may require the service to be reloaded or the change configuration takes effect. For example, if we change some configuration values on SSHD service, then we will need to restart the SSHD service in order for that to take effect. Handlers are facts that respond to a notification triggered by other tasks. Tasks only notify their handlers when the task changes something on the managed host. Each handler has a globally unique name and is triggered at the end of a block of tasks in a playbook. If no task notified the handler by name, then the handler will not run. In order to explain more how handlers work, we will see the HTTPD handlers playbook. So, as we said already, handlers keyword should be used in the same indentation as the tasks on the play level. So, when all the tasks are completed on our play, then we can place our handlers section on which we must include a handler. Handlers work the same as tasks. They also are tasks and they have a name and they contain the configuration of the module as we would have in all other tasks. So this particular play copy a new content on the Apache HTTPD server on the destination machine. So it copies this file, the index.html file, on the destination on the Apache folder. In order for that change to take effect, we will need to restart the Apache HTTPD server, and then we can see the page, the new page content that we place on it. If one or more tasks notify the handler will run exactly once after all other tasks on the play have completed. So if we had here 3 or 4 tasks and one or more of them notified the handler, then the handler will run at the end only when all the tasks on the play are completed. Normally, handlers are used to reboot hosts and restart services. So, for example, we could have a handler to reboot the remote machine, and here we would use the reboot module when some configurations, tasks, and their functionality. Handlers can be considered as inactive tasks that only get triggered when explicitly invoked by a notify statement. So, as you can see here, in order to notify and run the task after the execution of this task end, then we will need to use the notify keyword at the same indentation as the name and copy and call the name handler. So here we could call also other handlers and put them as a list. So we could also call, for example, handler 2. So if we now go and execute this playbook, we will see that the handler will run if we have a change state on the task on the playbook. So the handler will run only when we have a changed state. As you can see here, the handler didn't run because I have already copied this content on my Apache HTTP server. So in order to execute the handler, I will go and put also another keyword, and I will make sure that the tasks have a change when state equal to true. So this task always appears as changed, the copy content. So as this will appear as yellow and have a changed state, then you will see that also the handler will run and execute the command that is specified. Another more complex handler example can be seen here. So this particular play will use the handler section and will be executed based on some keywords that we specified here with when, loop, etc. So let's now examine what this particular play does. So the first task will go and execute some commands on the remote machines using the command module. So the command module will iterate through this loop of commands and will execute those commands and save the result on the data output. As you can see, all those commands are Linux commands and can be executed on the command line. So the date will return the date, the whoami command will return the current user on which I'm currently working, and the print working directory will print the directory that I'm currently inside my command line window. So as you can see, this task executes and saves the output on the register on the data output variable, which then can be used through the second task. This second task notifies the handler, and when this task have a changed state, as we discussed earlier, this is always equal to true, so this dummy handler will be executed. So the logic behind this particular task is a loop on which we go through the results of this particular output. So we go through the results of this output and we find if we have on the output the root user. So this command's output will also include the item stdout equals to root, so the dummy handler will be notified. Let's now execute this playbook to verify the behavior of it. So as you can see, the playbook runs and we have a change state, as you can see, for whoami command. So in the output of date output variable, we have the std out, which is root, and as we specified in the playbook, when the std out of the item is root, then the handler will be triggered. So we combined conditionals, loop, and handlers together on a simple playbook as it will be asked, for example, in the official exam. So as you can see, the std out of the first command that was executed, the date command, is the date, and also for the last command that we used, the print working directory, the std out is home student. In conclusion, handlers always run in the order that is specified by the handlers section on the play. So they don't run in the order in which they are listed by notify statements in a task or in the order in which tasks notify them. So if first the handler 2 is notified by a task and then handler 1, that is not the order that will be executed, but handler 1 will be executed first as it's specified on the handler section. They only run when all the tasks are completed on a playbook and cannot have the same name with each other. So we must have unique names specified on the handler section. No more than one handlers can have the same name. Even if more than one task notifies a handler, then the handler will run only once. If a task does not notify a handler, this handler will not run. For example, if no task notify the handler 2 on the playbook, then this handler will not run. And as we discussed earlier, the change state of the task should be the state changed like a yellow in order for this handler to be executed.